It was a sunny afternoon in downtown Los Angeles, and the upscale fashion boutique Maison Aurel was buzzing with quiet sophistication. Mannequins in the window displayed minimalist couture. Jazz played softly from hidden speakers, and the scent of expensive candles lingered in the air. Behind the counter, boutique owner Vanessa Cartwright carefully adjusted a silk scarf on a mannequin, pausing every so often to inspect her reflection in the polished glass display. To Vanessa, appearances meant everything. Her boutique had built a reputation for exclusivity, and she intended to keep it that way. Only the right clientele, the right tone, the right look. So when the front door chimed and a tall black woman walked in, wearing oversized sunglasses, sneakers, and a casual hoodie, Vanessa barely suppressed her sigh. The woman browsed confidently, her fingers trailing across silk blouses and tailored jackets. Vanessa watched from behind the counter, her lips tightening. "Can I help you find something specific?" Vanessa asked, her tone polite but cold. The woman glanced over, her smile effortless. "Just looking for now. Thank you." Vanessa nodded curtly, but internally she was already judging. Probably just here to take selfies or ask for prices she couldn't afford. As the woman reached for a designer coat on the main display, Vanessa stepped out from behind the counter. "I'm sorry, that piece is reserved for a client," she lied quickly, placing her hand on the hanger before the shopper could lift it. The woman arched an eyebrow. "Oh, I wasn't going to damage it. Just admiring the stitching." "Well," Vanessa said, forcing a smile, "we just try to keep certain items protected. You understand?" The silence that followed was heavy. The woman looked at her for a moment longer, calm, measured, then nodded slowly. "Of course." Without another word, she turned and walked toward the door. As it closed behind her, Vanessa shook her head, muttering, "Some people have no idea where they belong." But what Vanessa didn't know, what she was about to find out, was that the woman she'd just dismissed wasn't just someone. She was the someone. And soon, her face would be on every billboard promoting Vanessa's very own brand. Later that evening, Vanessa sat in her office above the boutique, sipping from a glass of sparkling water and reviewing emails. The boutique had partnered with a rising fashion agency to promote their upcoming fall campaign, a big break that could catapult Maison Aurel from a local gem to a national fashion name. She opened the file from the agency's creative director, excited to see the model they had secured for the campaign. The subject line read, "Final. Celebrity face of fall launch. Contract signed." Vanessa clicked on the PDF and almost dropped her glass. There, centered in high resolution, was the very woman she had dismissed just hours ago. Same warm brown complexion, same powerful poise, but this time styled in full couture, striking poses that made Vanessa's best designs look even more exquisite. Nia Cole, actress, philanthropist, fashion icon, your new brand ambassador. Vanessa blinked. Nia Cole. The name registered like a lightning strike. She'd seen her on magazine covers, in red carpet highlights, but always from a distance. It hadn't occurred to her earlier, dressed casually, that that was who had walked through her boutique. Panic crept in. Vanessa scrambled to check the timestamp. The agency had sent the notice earlier that morning, just before Nia arrived. She had come in early, possibly out of curiosity or to personally assess the boutique she would represent. And Vanessa had brushed her off, judged her, lied to her. She sat frozen, replaying the moment in her mind, the dismissive tone, the assumption, the false excuse about the jacket being reserved. The worst part was Nia's expression, calm, almost knowing, as if she had seen it all before, as if this was just another repetition of an old, tired story. Vanessa's heart pounded. She had made a terrible mistake, and now she was at the mercy of the woman she had so effortlessly looked down on. Tomorrow, the entire boutique staff was scheduled to meet with the agency and Nia herself for the official campaign launch. Vanessa could already feel the weight of the moment tightening around her. How do you face someone you've judged when they now stand above you, not just in reputation, but in grace? The next morning, Maison Aurel was buzzing with nervous anticipation. The boutique had never hosted a celebrity, not one of Nia Cole's stature, and the entire staff was under strict instruction to be flawless. Every garment was steamed to perfection. The display lighting was adjusted. A platter of imported pastries sat untouched on the marble counter. Vanessa stood in front of the mirror in her office, fixing her hair for the third time. Her stomach churned with equal parts fear and regret. She rehearsed a dozen ways to explain herself, to justify her actions, but none of them felt honest or forgivable. At 11 a.m. sharp, a black SUV pulled up outside. Vanessa watched from the window as Nia Cole stepped out, dressed in a crisp cream pantsuit with gold accessories. Her stride was confident but unhurried, her presence magnetic. A few pedestrians paused to stare, recognizing her instantly. Inside the boutique, the staff quickly stood at attention. The agency's creative director greeted her warmly, gushing about the campaign and gesturing toward Vanessa. Nia, this is Vanessa Cartwright, the owner and head stylist of Maison Aurel. Nia turned to her with the same composed grace she had shown the day before. We've met, she said coolly. Vanessa's smile faltered. She opened her mouth to speak, but the weight of what she had done stilled her. Nia's eyes held hers, not angry, but unimpressed, a look Vanessa wasn't used to receiving. I owe you an apology, Vanessa said quietly, stepping forward. I was completely out of line yesterday. I misjudged you, and I handled it terribly. Nia tilted her head, considering the words. You didn't know who I was, she replied, and that's not the issue. The issue is how you treated me based on who you thought I wasn't. The room fell silent. Even the agency rep went quiet. Vanessa felt the truth of that statement settle like stone in her chest. I understand, she said, and I'm not here to defend what I did, only to say that it won't happen again. Not with you, not with anyone. Nia studied her for a moment, then gave a small nod. Let's see how this partnership goes. With that, she walked past Vanessa and began looking around the boutique again, but this time as the face of the brand. Vanessa stood in place, still shaken, still embarrassed. But something had shifted. The opportunity wasn't lost, yet it would only mean something if she learned how to see people without judgment. Not because of fame or fear, but because it was the right thing to do. Today, Nia was the star of the campaign. But she had also become something else Vanessa needed far more. A mirror. The photo shoot began that afternoon. A production team swept into the boutique like a well-oiled machine. Lighting equipment, racks of clothing, camera crews, stylists, assistants, and brand reps. Vanessa stood off to the side, barely involved, reduced to a bystander in the very boutique she owned. Nia Cole was front and center, trying on outfits from Maison Aurel's new collection. And each time she stepped in front of the camera, something happened. The garments seemed to come alive. The same clothes that looked cold and distant on mannequins now radiated power and sophistication. Vanessa could only watch as her designs, once gate-kept behind layers of exclusivity, transformed under Nia's presence into something magnetic and universal. The agency's creative director leaned over and whispered, "She's elevating your entire brand. Wait until these hit the magazines." Vanessa nodded, though part of her still felt hollow. The brand was being elevated, yes. But her own role in this story, the initial disrespect, the short-sightedness, was a stain she couldn't wash out easily. During a break, Nia stepped aside for water and a quick rest. Vanessa hesitated, then approached. "Would you mind if I asked you something?" she said quietly. Nia looked at her evenly. "Depends on the question." Vanessa lowered her voice. "Yesterday, when I dismissed you, why didn't you say who you were?" Nia sipped her water before answering. "Because it wasn't about who I am. It was about who you chose to see." Vanessa swallowed hard. That makes sense. Nia didn't gloat, didn't lecture. She simply handed her water bottle to an assistant and returned to the shoot. Vanessa stood there for a long moment, watching Nia laugh with the team, fully at ease in her skin, not demanding respect, but radiating it. And for the first time, Vanessa understood that exclusivity wasn't about keeping people out. True luxury was inclusive, graceful, unafraid to evolve, and if she wanted her brand to survive, she would have to evolve too. The official campaign launch event was held at a downtown rooftop venue, an elegant affair with string lights, champagne flutes, and a guest list filled with influencers, stylists, editors, and fashion executives. It was the moment Vanessa had envisioned for years, her boutique finally standing shoulder to shoulder with the giants of the industry. And yet, as she stood by the branded step and repeat, she knew this night wasn't really about her. Not anymore. Nia Cole arrived fashionably late, dressed in a custom Maison Aurel gown, an unreleased piece that hadn't even been shown to the press. Her appearance lit up the venue. Flashbulbs sparked. The crowd parted for her, and when she stepped onto the platform to speak, the room fell silent. I chose this campaign, Nia began, not because I needed another brand partnership, but because I saw potential. I saw a chance for transformation, not just in fashion, but in people. Her eyes flicked toward Vanessa, but only briefly. And sometimes, she continued, we walk into rooms where we're underestimated, dismissed, or judged. But the beauty is, we don't have to prove our worth. Our presence does that for us. Applause erupted. Some clapped lightly, others nodded, deeply moved. Vanessa, standing by the edge of the crowd, felt her chest tighten. Her shame hadn't faded, but it had turned into something else, a readiness to be better. She clapped too, not out of obligation but respect. As the night went on, reporters mingled, photos were taken, and the Maison Aurel brand name echoed through the venue. But Vanessa remained near the fringe, watching Nia thrive in the spotlight, knowing full well that her own misstep had nearly ruined it before it even began. Before leaving, Nia passed by Vanessa, pausing for a moment. This brand can go far, she said calmly, as long as the people behind it keep doing the work. Vanessa nodded, her voice low. I will. Nia smiled, then disappeared into the crowd. The night shimmered with success, but for Vanessa, it wasn't about the buzz or the press. It was about redemption, about learning what true leadership and inclusivity looked like in practice. She no longer wanted to run a boutique that just dressed people well. She wanted to run one that saw them clearly. Months passed, and the boutique transformed, not just in appearance, but in identity. Maison Aurel was no longer known only for its clean lines and luxury fabrics, but for the warmth and inclusivity it radiated from the moment customers walked in. Vanessa had done more than issue an apology. She had taken action. She hired a more diverse team, welcomed interns from fashion schools, regardless of background, and offered styling workshops for young designers from underserved communities. Her brand's voice began reflecting more than just style. It reflected values. And yet it wasn't about overcompensating. It was about authenticity. Every decision she made now came from a place of awareness. The experience with Nia had humbled her, yes, but more importantly, it had awakened her. One quiet afternoon, Vanessa was folding scarves by the window when a young black girl and her mother walked in. The girl's eyes lit up as she touched the fabric of a jacket from the campaign. This is the one Nia wore, right? She asked excitedly. She's my favorite. Vanessa smiled. It is. And she's one of my favorite people, too. The mother looked around the boutique, visibly surprised by how welcoming it felt. I always thought places like this weren't for us. Vanessa shook her head. No, they are now, and always should have been. That moment, simple as it was, felt like everything had come full circle. No fanfare, no lights. Just two people who finally felt seen, and one boutique owner who had learned how to truly see. Later that week, as Vanessa walked past one of the city's biggest billboards, she looked up and saw Nia's face. Elegant, powerful, glowing in Maison Aurel's fall collection. Vanessa didn't feel pride in the traditional sense. She felt gratitude, not just for the success, but for the lesson and for the second chance to do things right. The boutique had been her dream, but the woman she became because of it, that was the real triumph.